What's up guys, it's Andre. I know it's been a while since the last video. I'm really sorry about that. A lot's been going on. So 4 main things happened since the last video that popped up on the channel. Now, number 1, I got a new job. That means more hours, more money, less time to work on the car though. Number 2, I had surgery. Nothing crazy, nothing life-changing. I just had a gallbladder removal since I had issues with that. That also meant that I had a 1 month recovery, which I couldn't touch the car because I couldn't do anything physically strenuous, if that's even a word. Just physically demanding. It genuinely hurt. Number 3, I'm away for most of the time. As you can see right now, I'm in a hotel room in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. This means that I'm usually gone Monday to Friday, and I'll be back on the weekends, which is not good for working on the goddamn car. I have a lot of free time in a hotel room doing jack all by myself to edit videos. Not a lot of fucking time to film them, especially if what I'm doing is extremely challenging. Now, number 4, and that's the biggest one, I felt burnt out for months. When I first started filming this episode, it was mid-July, early August, and I was completely in the wrong headspace. Now that fucked up all my productivity, fucked up all my progress on the cars, and pretty much, I mean, it is beginning of February and I'm starting to edit that video from July. I needed a break and it wasn't YouTube related, hence the job change. And now I'm feeling much better, as you can maybe tell. That's why I'm kind of grumpy in those videos that you're about to see. And with all the excuses done, it's time to see the new video. How's it going, people? My name is Andre. Welcome back to the E46 build. Now, as you can see behind me, E46 is ready to get dived into. Now, I don't feel like working under the car today. It's been a long day. It's 5 p.m. now. But I'm gonna start taking apart the cold side. So the intake and everything. I have a 3-liter intake manifold that I have to swap in with a throttle body and everything. So hopefully that'll make us more power. So I gotta get rid of the stock 2.5-liter intake and piping and everything, and then see where we go from there. So now I'm gonna start doing that. Now, as you can see under the hood, I have to take off pretty much all of this with the intake manifold. The DISA valve is gonna get swapped with the map sensor. That's how we're gonna get our tune. We're not gonna run a map. However, that's gonna be put on to the new intake manifold. So for now, let's start taking it apart. Alright, so all of this is disconnected from the MAF as well, so just give it a tug. Now, grab your K&N Performance air filter that you've had in there for maybe 200 miles or shit like that. Like, it's really fucking clean, and save it for the future build. So you have these 2 10 mils that hold the intake box together to the chassis. So you take those off, and it's pretty much ready to come out. There is one little extension that goes towards the front bumper, so you got to be a bit careful with pulling it out. Yeah, I use 2 hands for that, but if you just pull towards the back of the engine and then up, you should have this piece coming out as well. This car has had a leaky past, because as you can see, that white stuff right there, that's all coolant residue. I tried to clean that best as I could back in 2020 when I replaced this cooling system. But fuck me, there was just so much, and the alternator got drenched, and I cleaned this up as well to no avail. But yeah, man, now let's just crack on. I've been fighting this intake for a while now, and I'm pretty much ready to pull it out. So as you can see here, it's a bit of a mess. You need a million tools. The most annoying part were these clips right here that you have to like pry off off of the connector for the injectors. Then I took the throttle body out because there's a nut just underneath it. I took that out. I took out the 11mm nuts. It's the first time I ever had to use the 11mm socket for anything in my life. I took off some connectors. I kind of gave up on the labeling. I'm probably gonna only label the connectors that I'm not gonna use, like the MAF and the DISA. And now it's just ready to pull out. So the thing is, there are still some connectors and some hoses, especially the fuel line hose, attached to it. That is apparently easier to deal with when the manifold is on its way out. So that's what I'm gonna do now, and I'll get back to you after it's out. Now hear me out. I've been through hell. It wasn't fun. I don't like pulling the intake manifold. It's not hard. There's just a million things that are still stuck on it even after you think you've pulled everything out. So as you can see here, that's the stock intake manifold. Now the fuel rail and the injectors are kind of all over the place because I had to pull this off separately because the quick disconnect for the fuel rail wasn't coming off. Managed to get it out. That's the 3-liter intake manifold with the purple injectors. We're going to be changing those anyways, but that's cool, I guess. Now the thing is, this is a giant hole, and as you can see, that's fucking disgusting. What I will do is clean that up and delete the CCV because you can't run a turbo with a CCV. And then I'm gonna have to, because there won't be any CCV, I'm gonna have to run a hose from here down to the ground, and that will be my breather, so to say. A lot of guys do it in the E46 community, and it works. When I was taking the intake manifold off, this hose was attached to it. This is a vacuum hose. That is brittle. That is gone. It's just on the edge though, so I might be able to cut it off because it's not too brittle. I might be able to cut it off and reuse that. You might flame me in the comments for that. I'm not scared, bro. It's just, I don't want to, I'm not sure how that, if I buy that hose from BMW, it's probably gonna be like 50 quid. So I'm gonna try and keep that on the down low. Now the thing is, these plastic hoses, those are coolant hoses, and those blow up all the fucking time. I have mine on the way, so I'm not going to be putting the intake manifold back in just yet. I'm going to have to wait for those so I can change those because I don't want to get stranded because of that shit. And in the meantime, I'll prepare the engine bay, and the brand new intake manifold for assembly. I'm going to be putting the injectors in. I'll be cleaning the throttle body because that is, I think that's a mess from the inside from what I can see. Yeah, see, if you just look on that, see how disgusting and dirty that is. So I'm thinking it's going to be the same on the inside. So I'm going to be taking that throttle body off and clean it up. All right, so I don't know how well you see me right now. I hope it's good. But this is the new 3-liter intake manifold. Now I'm going to start changing the injectors. So this is the fuel rail. There's 4 bolts, 10 mil holding it on. You just crack those loose. All right, so after that, you have 2 choices. You can start pulling the fuel rail as it is, and it would pull the injectors out of the intake manifold. Or there's a few clips on these injectors that hold it on the rail, and you can pull those off and then just take the rail out. For me, it's same difference because the manifold's already out of the car. So I'm gonna just pull the whole thing as it is. Well, after pulling on it for about 5 minutes now and not budging, I mean, it has moved a bit, but not enough to pull out. I think I'm just gonna unhook the injectors from it first. So in order to do that, you have these clips right here that literally just get a flat head behind them and just pull it out. Yep, there you go. So that's the clip right there. It's just holding on to the fuel rail. Yeah, so now do the same for all 6 of the injectors, and you should be able to pull the fuel rail out. This one still had Tesco's premium in it. Oh fuck, that's disgusting. Okay, so the fuel rail's out. It pulled 3 other injectors with it, and 3 of them just stayed in. So that should make my life a bit easier. Okay, so since all of the injectors are out, what I am going to do is I'll clean all of these holes for the new injectors to go in. So just a bit of brake clean. Don't spray it straight in there. It can come out of the port, so it's fine. But it's just if you're going to put the intake manifold back in straight away, it's just better to spray it on the towel. Yeah, that's just 1 port, so it's a good thing that I'm doing this. Okay, now that that's done, grab your new genuine Bosch injectors that you had in the Hopwood kit, or any other injector that you have on hand. Now these are 550 cc's or 650, I'm not too sure. The info is on their website. So this is the injector, brand new. Okay, so now you want to grab your fuel rail. Well, I suggest doing it from the fuel rail itself. You can do it however you want. This is easier for me. So grab the bit that goes into the fuel rail and take the cap off. Yeah, so after you take the cap off, take some silicone grease or dielectric dielectric grease. I'm not sure, man. It's fine. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I have silicone grease on hand, and just lube up the O-ring so that it doesn't get pinched when you put it back in, so you don't have any leaks, which would suck. Now try your best not to cover the fuel hole like I did, and then literally just push it in. They're for now they're not held on by anything. There are those clips that I showed you earlier that you're going to be putting on soon after, but for now just push them in. All right, so that's all done. All of the injectors are in. They still have the cap on, so they're protected. Some of you more keen-eyed may say, but Andre, that's not a BMW connector. That's a BMW connector. So you're a fucking dumbass. You put the wrong injectors in. Now, you may not be wrong. I am a dumbass. But Hotput got you covered, baby. You can be as dumb as you want. So these are the adapter harnesses for these injectors. So they take the Bosch injector plug that you have and then transform it into a BMW plug. So while you have the fuel rail out like this, it's so much easier to just plug them in now. So that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so fast forward to the next day. So what I have done is I've installed the injectors fully. I cannot get the clips to seat properly, so I'm gonna message Alex from Hopwood about that tomorrow. But what else I have done for now is this rail has vacuum going in it from the CCV and has two plugs, one right here and another one right there. So I took those off. I plugged them with silicone caps like this, and I have put a zip tie around them so they don't come off on the boost. This manifold's gonna have positive pressure from now on, where it used to have negative before, so I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. Okay, so what else I've done is there's 3 vacuum ports behind the intake. On my B25 intake, they're all covered off. On the B30 intake, all of them were open. I'm not sure if that's how it came from the car or they were just simply missing from when I bought it. So I capped this one off, the big one, and I capped the small one. This one, there's no zip tie on it, so I am going to pull it when I put the intake manifold in, and that's where I'm gonna route the fuel pressure regulator connector on. Now, in case you never knew, this F connector that goes into the upper intake boot, it goes to the brake booster cable, the brake booster hose, sorry, and then this smaller one that has a small vacuum hose, and then that's a hard line. So if you follow the hard line down, it goes down to the fuel pressure filter. Within the fuel pressure filter, there is a regulator installed, so that's why the M54 runs a returnless system. So this is the only fuel line that goes to the engine. This is a feed, it goes right into the fuel rail. There's no return because the fuel pressure regulator inside of the filter does all of the needed work. So I am going to use that for the fuel pressure regulator, so we know how much fuel we need for the boost. And then if you turn the intake manifold upside down, you should see that there is no more CCV anywhere in the system. I have cleaned the throttle body, so that's all good. And I've also blanked the idle control valve because that's what I had. That was my last setup on the B25 as well. I'm going to be running it the same on the B30 boosted intake manifold. So that's what I'm doing now. I have actually finished with this intake manifold. So the only thing I have left to do now is change that gasket, but I'm going to be doing that when I put the manifold inside of the car. That is going to be delayed, however, because I'm still waiting for those plastic hoses to change up, and I still have to clean up this mating surface, which I will do later. For now, though, what I am doing is I'm changing the spark plugs. This is the spark plug that was in the car. I changed this myself about 15,000 miles ago or something like that. It's a BKR6 equip from NGK. It has the 4 tip, but what is really curious is that it runs either pretty lean or pretty hot. The tip is all white, as you can see right there. I am not sure if that's lean or hot. From what I've read online, that is probably hot. So in the Hopwood kit, you'll be getting a BKR7E set of NGK spark plugs. The 7 means the heat range, so these will be 1 step colder, because the BKR6 that I had were a bit too hot for this engine apparently, and with boost it's better to go in with a colder spark plug anyways. Now these are your standard plugs. As you can see right here, there's only one electrode, and they come pre-gapped from Hopwood themselves. So these go into the engine right now, and all I'm willing to say is good luck, little guy. Please don't break. Please give me all the ignition I need for all the boost that I want. Please don't blow out the motor as well. It's another day in beautiful UK weather. Everything is gray. I've had a talk with Alex from Hopwood, and apparently I have to cut a little slot in the injectors or use some clips from an Audi. Using Audi parts on a BMW? No. In all reality, they're like £8 a clip or something like that. That's how I found them online. So for now, I'm gonna just cut a slot into the injectors and use the factory clips. Okay, so I had a go at cutting those injectors up, and it just pains me. So I gave Audi a call, and I'm waiting for the quote right now for the injectors, and we should see then. For now, I'm gonna jack up the car and start draining the coolant because I got the coolant pipes in yesterday. So we're gonna change that and then hopefully take the headers off today so we can mount the turbo. So quick little update, I got a call from Audi and I got all 6 clips for £16, which is really good because on eBay they were £8 a clip, and worst case scenario you would have to pay $60 with shipping to get them in God knows how long. And I got them from Audi, and they'll be here on Saturday. So sooner or later we're gonna have this baby running. And also, disclaimer, don't tell anyone. Those clips also work on a Lamborghini. So I'm probably gonna do a little bit of clickbait on the title. My E46 is getting Lamborghini parts. Oh, this is gonna suck. What? No. Get the fuck out. No, homie, that ain't good. That ain't good, homie. Well, I think I also have to undo that plug. But what the fuck was that, bro? That was crystallized. What the hell? That's where most of the water is gonna be though, because that's the expansion tank. Oh, there you go. There you fucking go. Disgusting. Let's just open that up. There you go. Now it's starting to drip. Okay, in hindsight, that might have been the plug for the automatic transmission, because the radiators in these for the autos have a different plug in them. So I think that would have been used for the automatic transmission. But because I'm elite, I don't have to deal with that, bro. I just had to drain the expansion tank. Now onto the plastic coolant pipes, and then onto the headers. All right, so here we have 35-pound BMW original. And 67-pound fucking BMW original? Yeah, BMW original. So we live in a world where we spend £100 for some fucking plastic coolant pipes. I am expecting it to squirt a little bit. I did drain the coolant, but that was from the expansion tank. The drains for the block are still untouched. All right, so now in theory it should be able to just pull out of here. I'm actually gonna unbolt this Vanos line first. This one, but I'm gonna unbolt it from the front to give me more room. Okay, so now I should be able to just pull it out. Yeah, you know what, I'm also gonna loosen it up from the bottom as well. Come on, you bitch. Oh fuck. Okay, so I pretty much had to break this one apart. So you can see right here where I had to break it off. And then this was stuck in the block, so look at how fucking crusty that is on the inside, my guy. And then this was stuck in the block, so I managed to get it out, but it still broke in half. I managed to like fish this bit out. So hopefully the next one's gonna be easier. You know what, I do wonder if you can actually buy this zip tie from BMW, or if you can find it in like parts.grams or some shit. So I had a look on realoem.com. I put in the VIN number for this car, and apparently that zip tie is a real thing that you can buy from BMW. It's like $1.73 or some shit like that. Fucking bro, I swear, I just no words. So it's probably been a while since the last clip. It's probably been 3 or 4 days. But this is where the first video ends, and we'll continue later on. This is the beginning of another day, so I'm going to start recording right now, soon after. So hopefully you'll see a video soon. So I'll see you in a few days, guys. Peace.